Hi there, welcome to Tarotland Soap Opera. Today I'm going to do a reading for Sagittarius energy. And like usual, we're going to do a top row and a bottom row. And the top row could be what people are thinking they'd like to do in their life when they harness some high vibe Scorpio energy. Or no, not Scorpio. Are some of you a Scorpio, dealing with a Scorpio? But Sagittarius energy. And the bottom row is going to be what we could be tempted to do when we harness a more worldly or more shadowy Sagittarius energy. And it can be a struggle going on within some people, but there's also going to be some people in the world who have definitely went through some life experiences lately that I'm no longer living my life like I did in the past. I don't think that way anymore. I don't feel that way anymore. I've gained some insight and understanding. I'm determined to wrap my brain around this game of life and look at life as an adventure to be lived. And that's what they're doing. And then there's going to be some people who have definitely picked, I'm not doing that. And they're more motivated and inspired by the world, or to maybe live a life more of indulgence or something to make them feel better instead of love. So let's see what we got going on here. We have a lot of cards not showing themselves. So, Sagittarius energy is also about communication, and it's also higher education and things like that too within people. And maybe people are, well, we'll just go with the story. Let's see what's going on. The reason for the reading for the top row is the Three of Wands. It's also the reason why the reading came out. And the first card we have is the Tower. So something that we thought was going to come into reality, that we were hoping for, didn't come into reality with the Tower card. So people were heartbroken. Some of them, something didn't come into reality with a Libra, or someone you thought would heal, or someone you thought would be just and fair, or someone who you thought would see the truth anyway, because the Tower is about seeing the truth. So you could have been in a relationship or a workplace, whatever it was, and you thought that people would see the truth, and that people would take action in truth, and they'd heal. Some people right now might be having to learn some lessons in their fiery nature. This one particularly is Aries energy, and Aries energy is about the self. And in shadowy energy, it can be people who are too much about themselves, and they don't want to maybe see the truth of it. So, if you were in a workplace or a relationship with some people who are kind of bossy or controlling, it's their way or the highway, or it's all about their wants, their needs, their lusts, their greed, their pride, their ego, eventually you just couldn't stay in that environment anymore, because something happened to make you see the truth, and you did. And you realized that you needed to heal. If some of you were more about yourself, or staying and waiting forever, for something, you're seeing the truth that you need to heal. Because why would we keep waiting so long? It's especially difficult with the people you're waiting for to be more loving or just or fair, if it's like an adult child of yours, or a sibling, or a parent. But if it's a romantic interest, we can wait kind of a long time hoping they see the truth too. But the divine wants us to, if we already know that we did everything we could, being loving, being encouraging, being supportive, it's an injustice for us to keep staying stuck. And the divine, once the divine has shown us the truth that some people aren't willing to move forward with us, either because they're in loving situations of their own, or they are kind of dealing with their shadow nature that they're kind of not winning the battle with at the moment, it's for us to keep believing in our dreams. And since this is the end conclusion of the reading, what it can mean too is that there's other people in the world who do want to heal things with you, even if some other people in your past don't want to, because they see that you've detached from that old foundation and that you're healing and you're taking action in your life to bring your dreams into reality, and they will think you're someone, that, if that was a job, it's someone else who wants to hire you. If it was a friendship or a romantic relationship, there's other people that want to be in relationships with people who've seen the truth that some of the other people that they wanted to be in a relationship with aren't in healthy energy right now, or they're in a different relationship, so you should move on. And then they hope that you move on. And as you do that and you see the truth and you heal from past pain and heartbreak and maybe your own unstable foundation, how do we heal from past pain and heartbreak and being in our fear or insecurity, or, maybe the Three of Wands, since it's about the self, it could kind of being caught up in our ego, but it could be a lot of things that we're caught up in within ourself, our fear, our insecurity, stuff like that. And it's all kind of trying to get you to see the truth that if you listen to your intuition and focus on the truth, you can heal from the past and your own fears and your own insecurities and your own self-limiting beliefs to move forward in your life. Stay focused on truth and love and justice and fairness. We are the master of our mind and our thoughts. We can control which thoughts we choose to sit in every day, which emotions we choose to sit in every day, And so offer yourself love and compassion and forgiveness for being a fallible human being who makes mistakes. Offer love and compassion to the people in your past who are fallible human beings who made mistakes, so you can let it go and start thinking of what can be instead of focusing on what was. Might be what that's saying for some people. And then we have these three cards not showing themselves. And I would interpret that as meaning that if there was some shadowy ways within you, you're cutting those out. If there was other people in your life that were harnessing those energies in a shadowy way, you're cutting them out of your life. And when we no longer align with our more codependent nature, we're not going to, or poor behavior in ourselves, like shadowy behavior in ourselves, we're going to quit hanging out with other people who are codependent and wanting us to indulge them in their shadowy behavior. We might have done it before because we were kind of in the same boat, but when we see the truth that it's about loving ourselves and believing in ourselves and start taking action within our own foundation to heal. And the truth of the Four of Swords is meditating on the truth. The truth is we deserve to love ourselves. We deserve to every day treat ourselves with love and respect and kindness and encouragement. We were all children at one time, and, hopefully people had encouraging, supportive people in their life when they were growing up. But regardless, we're supposed to take over that job. We're supposed to be our own best mother, father, coach voice in our own head. And when we start to do that and heal our foundation and seeing the truth, that's when we get more in the flow of our creative, inspired, fiery nature of listening to our intuition about all the things that are possible and starting to take action to try to at least imagine how we'd like it to be, because everything in our life first starts with what we think. What we think is of most importance, because that's what we kind of bring into our reality. So let's see what these three cards are. The King of Cups in reverse, the Eight of Pentacles in reverse, and the High Priestess in reverse. If you previously weren't taking action in love and putting in work and effort to gain insight and clarity in truth about yourself and about the past, and to listen to your higher self to guide you, you're done with that. It's because they were upside down and you're cutting them out. So if you previously weren't someone willing to listen to your heart and intuition to guide you, you're done with that. If you're dealing with other people who are like that, you've cut them out of your life. If you weren't putting in work and effort to gain insight and understanding about some of the things you might have not wanted to look at, kept in the dark, or just being kind of naive and gullible, you're done with that. You, I think, have put in the work and effort now, and you're willing to put in the work and effort. And if emotionally you are more attached to the world, or you are in relationship with other people who are more in touch and aligned and inspired by the world, you've cut that out of your life, and you've cut those people out of your life. And if you know some people who weren't willing to put in work and effort, who might have operated more from their egoic nature, like, I'm going to present myself as a loving person to you and people in the world when we go out, but I'm really kind of operating from my ego, and I'm more interested in money and materialism and status and image. That's what drives my, what motivates and inspires me secretly. You're cutting those people out of your life. And if that's who you used to be, you're cutting it out of your life. Because in the Three of Wands, you want your dreams to come into reality. And if we align with our own kind of immature, indulgent, prideful, egotistical, lustful, greedy, materialistic, petty, envious, jealous, the list goes on, of our beastly, worldly nature, if we align with that, we're probably going to align with other people that are in those kind of energies. Whether if it's just that we're kind of immature and impulsive, guess what? We're probably going to align with some immature and impulsive people. And, life might not go the way we want it to go. If we make our worth and value based on what we wear and how much money we have, and, that's where we derive our sense of worth and value, odds are we're probably going to hang around some other people who value those things and want to be in relationship with us for those things. And if we realize this is an unstable foundation, I'm worth so much more than that. I'm so much more than what I wear and what I drive and how much money I have. And I don't want people to be in a relationship with me for those reasons. And I also don't want to be in relationships with other people who think I should stay in relationship with them just for those reasons. I want there to be love. And so I think some people are taking action to depart from some ways of being within themselves, or just waking up to the truth of the type of people they were hanging around. And they're healing. And they might not be taking any action right now to get involved in something new. They're just taking this time to heal, because it takes time to heal from the past. And if we jump too quickly into something, we really probably haven't healed those wounds, and we could be kind of subconsciously drawn and attracted, kind of being codependent energy for someone else to make us feel better. And that never turns out well, because that would be us acting from shadowy energy. And shadowy energy is kind of represented by the devil, and the devil lies, and we in our ego can think this is the right way to go about it, and it blows up in our face. So if we want to quit having things blow up in our face, the only person we can control is us. So then we heal from our past pain and heartbreak and our self-limiting beliefs to focus on what we'd really like to have happen in our life, and we take this action just within our own foundation to heal, so that when we are ready to bring that dream into reality and those new jobs and those new relationships, we're operating from a solid foundation of truth and love and clarity and justice and fairness and authenticity, and not because I just want to feel better, or I want a shallow victory, or, something like that. We really want the dream to come into reality. Okay, what's going on in some shadowy energy? The reason for their reading is the Seven of Swords, Aquarius energy. Some of the shadowy people could have been in relationships with people. High vibe Aquarius energy would be people who do look at life from a higher perspective. They do have hope and faith and belief in love. And they've given a lot of thought to what is loving and what isn't loving. What is just and fair? What isn't just and fair? There's a maximum of 10 in every suit. So when someone's in the Eight of Swords up in their head, that means they're focused on 2 cups in their heart. And, high vibe people are aligned with love. And sometimes when shadowy people who are kind of more might be fearful of love and getting hurt and fearful of being more vulnerable in a relationship and maybe more authentic, and they could tend to operate from their more emotionally defensive kind of false persona, a lot of defensive energy possibly, or egotistical and self-centered, or whatever the case might be, or just used to manipulating people to get what they want. If somebody who's in shadowy behavior gets in a relationship with someone who, basically has done this work to heal, and they really want their dreams to come into reality, and they're focused on truth and love and justice and fairness, yeah, that can make someone who's in shadowy energy let that person go from their life with the Lover's card in reverse. Because, life is all about growing up and maturing yourself and learning lessons in life. And some people could kind of be immature. And instead of them harnessing high vibe Aquarius energy, they might harness a more immature Aquarius energy, which can be, children, especially like young children, that kind of looks like, just the fact that when we're young children, we can be very egocentric and we can think that everything is supposed to revolve around us. And, because we really haven't realized that we're not the center of the universe and everybody else has their own lives, and they could be people who could be kind of full of themselves, because that's what shadowy Aquarius energy is. I'm supposed to be the star of the show. And it could be shadowy Aquarius can be having a more, and they don't have to be an Aquarius sun sign if I didn't say that. It's just how people harness these energies. It could just be people that have lessons to learn, that they could think life is all about looking like a shining star in the world. Could be, I need everybody's attention on me. I need everybody focused on me. Or I'm really driven by the world and I want to look really victorious and successful in the world. And that's more important than love. I don't want to have to grow up and mature myself. I shouldn't have to, because maybe some of them are, in Aquarius energy. Maybe they are, have some traits and characteristics about them that make them appealing to other people. It could just be their looks. It could be if they have status or image or power or influence or money, attractive, whatever, And so then they could think that I can stay immature. I don't have to grow up. There's going to be people who want to be in a relationship with me. All I got to do is smile and wave and people come on over, They also might be people who, this page looks like it's going over here. They're moving away from the King of Wands energy, which is Aries energy, which is also the Three of Wands energy. So they could be kind of immature in their fiery nature. I want what I want. I want it when I want it. I want to go indulge in the world. I want to indulge in my ego. I want to indulge in my lust and my greed and my pride and my ego. And I'm sure that's what's going to make me happy. And also, just maybe don't want to take more mature action in their life. And so they also might be people that purposely look for people who they think are in a mental prison about love. Like, oh, did a relationship not work out for you? The Lover's reverse. Oh, gee, I think you're great. We should maybe hang out. We should date, And then, with these cards not showing themselves, is they don't want the people that they get in a relationship to know that the people who did harness those energies in high vibe energy are no longer in their life. They've left. And they don't want the people they get in a relationship with to know that they harness those energies in a shadowy way. So let's go see what they are. Okay, some more upside down cards. The Seven of Cups in reverse. The Hermit in reverse. The High Priest in reverse. And the Sun in reverse. Okay. Well, kind of I'll show them to you upright, and then we can kind of talk about what they're rejecting. If people were in high vibe energy, the Seven of Cups can be like, I do want to have new beginnings with people emotionally. I do want to have deep, meaningful relationships. I do want to gain insight and wisdom about my past emotional confusion and, so that I can act like someone who is stable and grounded and loyal and committed in a relationship. I want to be in life-giving energy of love and hope and faith and belief and, being an encouraging and supportive person. And they kind of reject all of those things. It's like, I don't want to be in a deep, meaningful relationship because the Seven of Cups is Scorpio energy. And in high vibe, it is about exploring the mysteries of life, the highs and lows of life emotionally. And they're like, nope, not interested. The Hermit, that's Virgo energy, going within to gain insight and wisdom. And they're like, no, I don't really want to look at the things that I don't want to look at. Whatever I put hidden in the dark, I want to keep it there. The High Priest, that can represent a lot of different things in the world, all these different institutions within the world, but it also talks about marriage and relationships. This could be someone who's like, I have no interest in being a deep, meaningful, insightful relationship or marriage. And the Sun upright could be being illuminated to the truth, and they're like, no, I don't want to be illuminated to the truth. And I guess since they're upside down, it's kind of hard to read that of how people could have left their life, but they could have probably had people that did harness those energies in a high vibe way, that they're done being confused about this person. No more an illusion about them. They're done. Other people in their life are done kind of meditating on this person. They've seen the truth. They've been illuminated to the truth, and they don't want to be in a relationship with them because they have been illuminated to the truth, and they're not offering them a new beginning. So this person right now might not have anyone in their life right now in a love relationship. And it could kind of have them in a mental prison because of the fact that they act immature. And maybe kind of bossy and controlling, and it's all about their wants and needs in a relationship, male or female. And other people saw the truth of it. And other people didn't want to keep working at that job with that kind of a supervisor, or being in that type of friendship or that kind of romantic relationship. And they might not want people to know. Well, for some of them, there's some people that are very bright in the world. It's just like, like the scammers who know how to put on all these big scams in the world to waste all this time and energy to get money illegally. And money is just another form of energy, just like love. Some of these people aren't emotionally confused at all. They know exactly what they're doing. And, they could use their intuition to try to, because they might be people who can look at life from a higher perspective and kind of aware of human behavior in a way, to use their knowledge of human behavior to try to manipulate people. And it's like, I am still not willing to grow up. I'm going to take some immature, impulsive, reckless, prideful, egotistical, selfish, greedy, vengeful, petty action in my life because I'm in a mental prison. They have the free will to, why keep living their life like that? Why not work through it? Why are they so up in their head about living their life maybe in a more just and fair manner? It's like, why try to scam the system? I don't know. But usually I would read the Eight of Swords as someone who could just really be up in a mental prison about love because maybe some things that happened in their life, or they're just very egotistical and immature. But some people don't want to do love because they have tried it before and it didn't work. And sadly, they didn't learn the lesson they were meant to learn from it. Just to admit that who are the people that we're dealing with? Are we willing to admit the truth to ourselves about some of the people we'd like to be in a relationship? They're immature. They're not grounded, are they taking grounded, practical, wise, insightful action in their life, or do they not? And sometimes people love other people in their life, and it really could have rocked their foundation in a way that, because they could have had people in their life. When cards are in reverse, it can also mean extremes. And some of these people could have grown up in foundations with people where it was really confusing, and people could have really hidden what it was that really kind of drove and motivated them in their life. And, really could have, because a lot of people in the world try to present themselves as being in high vibe energy. I'm not prideful. I'm not egotistical. I'm not selfish. I'm not self-centered. I'm not manipulative, and then they really kind of are, but they present this image of, oh no, I've healed from whatever happened in my past. And, but then those people could be actually hiding that they're really wearing a false mask, that it is trying to put in all this work and effort to confuse other people so they don't listen to their intuition, so that they can kind of be in the shadowy energy. And the people they're in a relationship are like, oh my God, you present yourself as being someone who's inspired by truth and love and character and integrity, but I don't feel that way in a relationship with you, I have known some people, and I've known whole families where everybody's really fake and superficial, and it's just kind of a little bit like being in a parallel universe. But if that's all they grew up with, they're used to being around people who are like that, and it is all like a mental strategy game, because it's not like being authentic and gracious and loving to the people in your life. It's always kind of who can outmaneuver who mentally in the game of chess, of everybody trying to maintain that I'm not offended, I'm not being bossy, I'm not hurt by what you said. Everybody's playing like they're all pumpkin and spice, and everybody's happy as geese or something. And there's all this underlying shit going on in the family, it's like, wow, this weird. Anyway, some of the people who grew up with people like that, they could definitely not want to trust anybody ever again in a relationship, because I've had the very people I grew up with who played mental fuck games with me, But anyway, let's see, I gotta turn these back over. Now, there could have been some people, and just like you could have gotten, because we've all got to learn lessons in life to not be as naive and gullible. And we can get ourselves in relationships with people where we kind of feel initially probably like it's all going to be great. And we might have gotten into some of those relationships because things weren't going good in our life, or a different relationship had broken up. And it was like, oh my gosh, I'm in a mental prison. Oh my gosh. I just want to feel better, and I'm not making good decisions in my life. So just like you could have done that in the past, there's other people in the world that could have done that. It's just that, you can kind of see here where God can use everyone for his good purposes. If God knows that there's kind of people who permanently stay in this kind of more immature or manipulative or selfish, greedy way of being, it's like, that's okay. I can use that. I'm going to have some people who need to learn about people like you. They're going to come get in a relationship with you because they haven't learned to be bold and brave enough to love themselves. And so they're going to get in a relationship with you. And then when they get in a relationship with you and they're like, oh my God, I did not know this person was kind of immature and bossy and controlling and all this stuff. And it makes the people who get in a relationship with them, oh my God, I got to let this go. And I need to love myself. And I have to quit viewing this person as a loving person that I can work with, because this person is secretive, is what the high priestess can talk about, and also might use their intuition about human beings in a shadowy way. And I don't want to be around people like that. I need to cut them out of my life. I need to love and believe in myself and start taking some more bold, brave, confident action to be a good leader in my own life. And it starts with seeing the truth that I deserve to love myself. And then the Four of Swords is Libra energy, which is represented by the scales of justice. I need to get myself balanced. If I don't want to keep getting in a relationship with people like this, because my foundation is kind of unstable, I need to offer myself that love and that compassion and forgiveness and encouragement and everything for the mistakes I've made, to love myself. I'm going to offer love and compassion to the people in my past. I want to reconcile myself with the past to get to a place of balance and love within myself, so I can move forward in life and not repeat this pattern of relationship anymore. So just like some of you could have already done that, there could be other people that are just getting out of a relationship like that, because we can all, why? Because we could have had lessons to learn in our Aquarius energy to kind of wake us up out of our illusions about love. Because, like I say, that people can be up in their head because they're kind of letting their heart run their life. And it's part of our growing up in our fiery nature that we can have love and passion for people and decide, I can't be in a relationship with you. I need to distance myself from you. But those are lessons that we need to learn, because sometimes we can really run our life off into the ditch and stay there for quite a long time because I love them, And then sometimes people can get really caught up in lust and greed, and that runs their whole life off into the ditch, because indulging in the world or money and status and power is the most important thing that consumes them, and that kind of wrecks their life. And, and then it can be our heart, it can be our mind, it can be, basically the four elements the four different suits of tarot that we talk about. And we have to go out and learn these lessons, to realize that we have to have better discipline with our more worldly nature, because our worldly nature can get quite addicted to a lot of things, because, it's like the easy way out, but then it ends up that we're kind of in hell, that the answer is love. The difference between like the devil and God is that if we indulge in our more worldly, undisciplined nature, it can run our life into hell and we might not get back out. So the truth and the answer is to love ourselves. And, I think that's the hardest lesson for human beings to learn. So anyway, there could be some people that could have been, this is what kind of happens in a shadowy relationship, is that someone finds themselves in a shadowy relationship and they're kind of in a mental prison. Do I love and believe in myself to let this go? To believe that I can heal, and to believe that, this certainly wasn't the dream I wanted to come into reality. Do I believe that I can manifest my dreams into reality? And what some of the people that are in those type of relationships, the shadowy person they're in a relationship with right now doesn't know that the person in their life is no longer confused about the truth. They've been doing their research, Instead of being up in their head about someone in their life who's shadowy, they've given a lot of thought to what is love, what is just, what isn't just, what is an encouraging and supportive environment and relationship, and what isn't. And they've gained the clarity. They're done hermiting on it. And they know they don't want to be in this relationship anymore. And they're no longer like in denial. And they don't want to have a new beginning with the people. Because that would be the process of being in a relationship with someone who's shadowy, right? Initially, you can be really confused. You haven't learned to go within to gain insight and understanding, to work through your own emotional confusion. And you haven't maybe gotten clear about what your own philosophy of life is and how you really view relationships and marriages and workplaces and what you will and won't stand for. And it was all because you were not illuminated to the truth, and we get in all these relationships to get illuminated and get more clear about what our truth is. And there's some people that are in these shadowy relationships, and the shadowy person in their life doesn't know that the person they're in a relationship with is about to say, see ya. Because in high vibe, the Page of Wands would be someone who has that hopeful, believing nature. Initially, we can go into relationships having that hopeful, believing nature. And then we realize we had a lot of growing up to do and maturing to do and learning to love and believe in ourselves. Because our shadow nature can be our more codependent on other people. And we kind of give our power away. And some of those people that are in a relationship with a bossy, shadowy person is like, bye. Instead of staying in this relationship, which might kind of seem like a parent-child relationship, or they were letting their more egoic, fiery nature run their life, they're taking back control of their life. It's kind of like the inner child taking back from the more emotionally defensive, egoic nature within themselves. And when they quit aligning with that within themselves, they no longer want to align with other people that are like that in the world. And it's like, see ya. I've given a lot of thought to what is love and what isn't love. And I'm bringing down this foundation. I've seen the truth. I'm not going to let my ego run my life. I'm not going to let my fear and my insecurities and codependency run my life. And the people that I was maybe working with in life, because of those reasons, who might have been happy that I had all those fears or insecurities or codependence nature, because then they could play on that and try to manipulate me based on those things. It could even just be sexuality, kind of thinking, isn't having sex with someone just good enough? And it's like, I don't know. Is it? How's it been working out for you? Making you wonder if this is love? Just because people have sex with you doesn't mean they love you. Do you want to be in a relationship based on love, or do you just want to have relationships with people where it's just having sex, And some people are letting go of that foundation because they've seen the truth. That I don't want to live my life like this anymore. I don't want to hang around people who might encourage me to be immature and impulsive and lustful and greedy and prideful and egotistical and petty and envious and jealous and blame everyone else for my problems. That's not getting me anywhere. That's not like fertile soil to build my life on. I'm letting this go, and I'm detaching from the people in my life who maybe haven't been encouraging me to love and believe in myself. And sometimes it's really loving people who get in relationships with people like that, because that's a pattern they have and they need to break that pattern. I'm not used to being in relationships with people who treat me the way I treat them. That feels strange. That's uncomfortable. I'm not used to that. My comfort zone is to deal with people who are kind of bossy and controlling and prideful and egotistical. And we do that until we realize, like, oh my God, I've got to change. Why can I not let people treat me with love and compassion? And I want that to be my new comfort zone, because this was hell. So sometimes it was really loving people who got in relationships with people like that. Other people, they could have had some similar things that they were kind of indulging in or getting caught up in. The shadow can be getting caught up in the illusion of the world and getting caught up in the ego and the image and the money and thinking that's most important. And there's some people right now that are saying, I've seen the truth. Makes me curious. Huh. Well, let's just ask, what was it that could have happened in some people's lives that made them see the truth? Seven of Cups, because of the Page of Swords and the Six of Cups. Well, the way this could be read is that people could have emotionally distanced themselves in a relationship, because sometimes people who are shadowy, when you're in a relationship, you have the free will to be open and honest and just and fair and loving. And some people are like, I don't think that is an option, but I think I have a better idea. And in their pride and ego, they think, I don't want to maybe be just and fair in a relationship. They might expect me to be just and fair all the time. I don't want to have to speak my truth, the list goes on. And so then they could decide, I think I have an idea. I'm going to try to manipulate them to get them to do what I want. And one of those tactics could be, I'm going to emotionally distance myself, and I'm going to kind of act immature in my thinking, logic, and reasoning. And I could repeat some poor past patterns of the past. And it's kind of like, if you're not willing to work with me the way I like to work with people, kind of like you indulge me in my shadowy ways of being, or I'm going to walk away from you. For some people tried that for the last time. And somebody said, don't let the door hit you on the way out. Otherwise, you could have seen the truth that people really weren't motivated by love and that they do want to repeat these past patterns. And they want to be in a relationship with people who are kind of on the same page as them. Because if you were someone who was healing and you weren't kind of caught up in the illusion of the relationship, which could have been a little bit more superficial and shallow than you had realized. But as you were healing and overcoming some of your fears and self-limiting beliefs and being more bold and brave and confident, that's when you could have noticed that the person you were in a relationship with seem to get more and more defensive because they kind of want you to keep indulging them just the way it's always been. Because in order to move forward with you, they would have to shed some of their old ways of being and kind of grow up and mature themselves and become maybe more independent because you're becoming more independent. No longer as codependent on them for your sense of emotional well-being or emotional stability and learning to love yourself and believe in yourself. And in order to move forward with you, they'd have to do that too. And some of them don't want to do that because there's ways of viewing life or just living their life, their coping mechanisms or, whatever that they don't want to change. And if they were trying to manipulate you, the last straw could have been when they could have decided to reconcile or align more with people in their life from their past than you. That could be, I'm taking more of a position of defending like my original family group, instead of my romantic relationship or my marriage. Those people, I'm going to give you the impression that those people can't take more priority in my life than you, or my friend group or my work group. And some of them could have walked away to go get in a relationship with someone from their past or someone who reminds them of people from their past. And I was like, that's the final straw. This relationship's over. I'm going to heal. Okay, tell us, what is coming up for the people who harness some high vibe Sagittarius energy that they might not see coming? You are healing and listening to your intuition to guide you, taking action to bring your dreams into reality. Well, part of it, and why it's coming about is because of the Queen of Pentacles. The Queens in Tarot can talk about our emotional state. So you've put in work and effort to grow and mature yourself. The Queen of Pentacles would be someone who's like a good business leader, a good parent, a good marriage partner, because they've grown and matured themselves emotionally. They're not acting out of pettiness and jealousy and envy and pride and ego and defensiveness. And what you don't see coming, also the King and Queen of Pentacles is the only married suit of the deck. So I would say you're going to be very emotionally stable and grounded and abundant in lots of ways, emotionally and financially. And there might be other people in the world who would like to invest in you at work or in relationships and possibly marriages, because they see that you harness this energy. You've aligned with that energy within yourself. You're not enabling poor behavior within yourself, and you're not spending your time enabling poor behavior in other people. You're investing in ways of being in your life that are very grounded and stable and abundant and emotionally mature. This is harnessing high vibe Taurus energy. Part of the reason you are able to do that is because you cut people out of your life who harness this energy in a shadowy way. Ten of Swords and the Three of Wands. Basically, people who sabotage their own self in the world from having their dreams come into reality. And then since they have kind of given up on their dreams and they're not healing and they're not having hope and faith and belief in their dreams, when you get in a relationship with them, they kind of try to backstab and betray you too to give up on your dreams. So you'll keep indulging them in a relationship. And you are willing to cut those people out of your life. That was shadowy Gemini and Capricorn energy. So people who are more aligned with living from their mind and making their life more about the world, the ego, indulgence, than emotionally growing and maturing themselves. And what some of the people who are kind of shadowy in the world, they can't figure out how you're doing this because they keep taking action out of pride and ego and vengefulness and pride and ego, and I want to feel better, and I'm in my ego, and you're not doing that. But they don't know why you're able to do that and they're not able to do that. Well, for one, you are willing to cut some people out of your life that they're maybe not willing to cut out of their life. And also because you're no longer up in your head about the world. You don't make your life all about what other people think about you. All we can do, and really all we should worry about in a way, is like, I'm going to go live my authentic life. I'm going to operate from a place of peace and love and joy and generosity and compassion. I'm going to go out in the world and be friendly and respectful to people because that's just the type of energy I choose to live my life from. And if other people don't choose to reciprocate that, I'm not going to take it personally. My job isn't try to appease everyone in the world. Oh my God, how stressful would that be? Which might be why some other people have a problem living their authentic life, because they feel so backstabbed by the world. It's like, well, quit trying to get everybody to approve of you. How about you just go live your life authentically? I'm going to treat people with love and kindness. Is that good for you? It's not? Okay, then I wish you peace, because I don't know why me treating you with love and respect and kindness isn't good enough. Well, the people that's not good enough for are the other people that are so worried about what everyone thinks of them, and they're not free, because our shadow nature, again, represented by the devil, can be all the people that are really imprisoned and enslaved and oppressed by all the rules and things they got to do in order for people to accept them and value them and view them a certain way. It's like, you know what? I'm going to go live my life, and I'm going to be kind and respectful and generous and, to people. And if that's not good enough, then I don't know that I want to be their friend. I'll just wish them peace and keep moving on. So you're not up in your head about the world, and they still are. About what will people think? Do I look victorious and successful? Is this person got enough money or good enough looking or got the right clothes or go on the right vacations or drive the right car? So superficial. So I think, well, and also with the Ten of Swords to the Three of Pentacles, there could be other people that are ending jobs and relationships and friendships that they have been in. And they're freeing themselves from it because they have learned to love and believe in themselves too. And they want to be in relationships with other people who treat them in a loving, encouraging, just, fair, respectful way of being than people in their shadow, which again is kind of operating more out of your manipulative, well, really kind of more manipulative, but, and then it can be worse from there, But it's people who aren't being authentic and genuine, It's like, I don't want to be hanging out with people like that anymore. I want to go be with the people who know themselves enough and that they can just be themselves. And then I can be myself. Tell us about what's coming up for the people who harness some shadowy Sagittarius that they might not see coming. Well, for one thing they might not see coming is that the high vibe people in the world in their life are calling judgment on them because some of the shadowy people thought they were the boss, right? Kind of like in the Knight of Swords, no, I'm the boss. That would be like the devil trying to tell God, I'm the boss of this world. And, the devil might have all the things of the world to try to tempt us, but we've got our intuition. And the people who believe in a higher truth and justice make their life more than just about the money and the materialism and the sex and the status and the image. They want to have a balanced, just life where I want to accomplish most of the things I want in the world, but I want to do it in a way that I'm proud of myself. And I want to treat other people the way I would like to be treated. So I'm going to work together with people cooperatively, harnessing high vibe King of Swords Libra energy. I'm going to speak the truth and act in truth and be just and fair. I'm not going to defend my more selfish, greedy, prideful, immature nature and say I'm just and fair. And that's kind of what some of the shadowy people are doing. I'm the boss. I don't have to adhere to a higher truth and justice. If I say something's just and fair, it's just and fair. It's like, okay, well, other people aren't going to want to be in a relationship with you. And the Two of Pentacles can be where people pick up their investment in people like that to get balanced within themselves and speak their truth that, you juggle people. You present yourself as one way to people in the world, but behind the scenes, you're a different way. You present yourself as being just and fair, like a person of character and integrity, but you're selfish, you're bossy, you're controlling, you're manipulative, you're self-centered, you're egotistical, you're immature. And the people are going to speak the truth, and they're going to be mad because other people aren't willing to invest in them. And they're defensive because they want what they want. So that might be one thing that they didn't realize was going to happen, because sometimes shadowy people think, I'm going to do these things and I'm not going to be just and fair and truthful and honest. I'm going to do these things to cause you pain and heartbreak, to make you hopefully drive your life off into the ditch and really destabilize you. Maybe destabilize your healing. So if you drive your life off into the ditch, by comparison, I'll look like I'm the winner. Like I'm the stable, just, fair one. And some of those people did just that to try to destabilize people in their life who'd seen the truth of who they were and then acted in these really kind of atrocious ways to try to destabilize their healing, much less they knew that they weren't who they said they were in the relationship, wore this false mask, which in itself was hurtful, and then that they probably did immature things to cause their partner to be up in their head and kind of in a mental prison, but because their partner could be loving, they put in a lot of work and effort to keep trying to get the relationship to work, and then eventually when they see it's impossible because the last straw happens that reveals the truth, that they leave, then they do these terrible things to try to make you run your life off into the ditch. you know, so that they look like they're the just and fair person, you know. Well, for some of them that didn't work, and they don't like that you're maintaining your balance and speaking your truth, because you were supposed to drive your life off into the ditch so that they would look like they were the victor in a way. And it's like, no, I'm just going to maintain my balance and you do you. But if you're maintaining your balance and they're off doing what they do, well, then it kind of makes them look like they're maybe the selfish, greedy, prideful, bossy, controlling, immature one, which they maybe tried to make the loving people seem to be that way. You know, cast their negative traits and characteristics onto the loving people in their life that were just trying to love them. But they wanted to be bossy and controlling and defensive. So yeah, they're bad that they're the ones who kind of looks like they're kind of shadowy. But again, you know, if it wouldn't really matter, the high vibe people are probably willing to leave anyway. The world's going to think what they think regardless. So I don't control them. You know, people who realize that they don't know everything that goes on in a relationship will realize they don't know everything that goes in a relationship. And they'll be those kind of people that are gracious. And it's like, I don't have to know what's going on, you know, and I'm going to take people on how I have known them. You know, I'm not going to vilify someone just because someone else said that behind the scenes they're awful. You know, and I don't think the high vibe people really care what people think of them or the other person. The truth eventually will be revealed. I don't need to tell people the truth. So, because they're kind of in shadowy energy and they want what they want, and they could be, you know, the devil talks about the things of the world. They want those things of the world that they want. So they might go communicate with some other people in the world who they think haven't really picked a path, because they might have learned, I don't want to be in a relationship with people who listen to their intuition and love and believe in themselves, because I can't manipulate those people. Let me go find someone else in their Capricorn energy. They don't have to be a Capricorn. Just someone who I think kind of juggles, you know, who maybe hasn't freed themselves from their more shadowy Capricorn energy. They're kind of going back and forth. Let me try to get them in a relationship with me. And if I give them those things of the world, and we have the money and the status and the image and all that stuff, then, or I get them, you know, try to appeal to their lust or passion or whatever, then, and their ego, then maybe if I get them in a relationship with me, I've got them where I want them. And then, or just go find someone who's juggling, get in a relationship, kind of wear their self-esteem down by kind of being this bossy, controlling person. And eventually I have this nice little codependent person that's dependent on me and is like my minion that I can rule and dominate over. Are you fearful and afraid? Wonderful. Did a love relationship not work out? Are you in a mental prison about it? Perfect. Let me try to communicate with you and not show you I'm the big bad wolf. So the whole thing is, for you high vibe people moving forward, you know, with the only cards here showing is the Tower and the Four of Swords, which is Libra energy, which is air sign energy and communication. I would say if anybody approaches you and wants to get to know you, be more than free to, you know, kind of reveal the truth of your foundation. You know, yeah, I have went out with some people. They were kind of bossy and controlling and thought a relationship should be all about them. And yeah, that wasn't my cup of tea. And, you know, I've healed from that kind of relationship. And I'm looking for people who are bold and brave and emotionally mature enough to do love. A just and fair relationship where it's not one person where the scales are tipped in their favor and they have some privileged position in the relationship, male or female. And I've dealt with people who are immature and impulsive, and people who are prideful and egotistical and self-centered, and people who are selfish and greedy and all about their ego. And those aren't the things that I get caught up in. I want to look at life as an adventure to be lived. I want to go live life and have fun without people being in these negative emotions, you know? And, you know, the people who right away like, oh shit, yeah, no, I guess I can't play my game on you, they'll leave. Perfect. Way not to waste my time. And the people who are like, oh my gosh, I've dealt with people like that too. It's so annoying. Why do they make life so difficult? Those will be the people who move forward with you. So there you go, Sagittarius. I wish you peace, love, and joy, and we'll see you next time. Bye-bye.